I am loving this mini trend at the moment for escape room puzzle games, and Doors Paradox does something quite similar, where instead of putting you in a 3D environment for you to escape from, it produces a 3D diorama for you to rotate, zoom in and out of, and solve tiny puzzles within to open the door in the centre for you to kind of go through. It's all a bit cryptic in the story sense of it, because it's like you're going through emotions and periods and memories of your life and unlocking them, I guess, and then moving past and through them. But whilst all of the different doors that are available in this game are beautifully designed, and I've really, really enjoyed the variation of the artwork and the structures and the way how they all feel uniquely engaging, the graphics is only surpassed by one thing, and it's the sheer variety of the puzzles that are on offer for you to dive into. I was a little bit concerned that because this is like the distillation down of an escape room game into small tiny things and mini games to complete, would it get boring and would you run out of ideas as you go through the 66 odd puzzles or doors that you're trying to open? And the answer is absolutely not. Variation is key here, and it's what kept me coming back for more, because not only do you get a different visual style and world around you to kind of rotate and dive into and out of and explore with each door, the puzzles, whilst there'll be variations on themes sometimes, all feel uniquely built for the door that you're playing with. So some of the technical ones will be like powering up massive batteries or connecting circuits together, whereas some of the more mystical Asian ones might have like moving golden statues of Buddhas around, or there's one that's like Hobbiton in a way where you've got like a little bell on top of a circular door and you're picking out like four-leaf clovers and moving them into slots and solving ciphers and things like that. It's a mixture of like short and sharp mobile style puzzles, or siphons, or remembering that you've seen a symbol somewhere and you need to rotate something around and create the same symbol elsewhere. Nothing's too taxing, but it's lots of really tiny good ideas that all build together to give you that constant dopamine drip that then makes you go, aha, I've opened the door at the end. And that's what really makes this game work. You're never more than like 45 seconds away from feeling good about solving something else. And the variety of different ways how you do it is what keeps you interested as well throughout the gaming experience. Each room is pretty much available from the start. There's a few bonus ones that you can unlock depending on some collectibles of gems that you can find. There's like a light and a dark gem, which I always took for good and evil as you kind of go through the story. But if you collect them all, it unlocks different kind of ending doors for each of the 3 stages that have got 20 doors in each for you to complete. But it's a real free-for-all for what you go and choose. And what I would say is that if you're playing the game without any hints or tips, if you do get stuck, you can easily dive back out and try something else, and that's great. But there is a progressive hint system, one that just shows you where you should look at next to solve a puzzle or pick something up. But there are some like particular puzzles where if you get stuck, you can try to skip them. My particular bane in life is anything that's a slider puzzle. I just detest them. And whilst Doors Paradox was about as much fun as a slider puzzle that I've ever had, occasionally I still took the option of skipping them because I just detest them with every fibre of my being. But if you come across something where you're just brain blind and you can't get past it, you can choose to skip that and it doesn't really affect anything else that's going on. So I really like that accessibility of ease, that you can choose your own difficulty basically as you run through the game. Not saying that Doors Paradox is hard, far from it, but it's great to have that there. I also really like the way how you've got this ambient, mysterious, but also slightly symphonic soundtrack in the background, and that there's always like a misty haze that's going on around the 3D diorama that you're in, so that it creates a dreamlike atmosphere which allows you to really get lost in each of the doors that you're trying to unlock as you go. The inventory I found was really useful. I found the controls largely worked really well. I think once or twice I did run into some issues where I thought I had dragged something from my inventory into the right place and it just didn't take, but they were really the exception rather than the norm. The only thing that perhaps I might comment on is that once or twice I would go to get a little bit stuck and I'd think, well, what am I missing here? And it would be that something was actually interactable and rotatable. And you have to kind of do that by clicking the mouse and then kind of rotating around in a circle. And some of those felt not clunky necessarily, but it wasn't overtly obvious that some of the catches that you can do and the things that you can pull and move around, you don't always realise that because they don't stand out from the rest of the environment on purpose so that it feels like an escape room. But sometimes things are interactable and other times they're not. And you kind of go, ah. So if you do get stuck, my advice is poke anything that looks like a handle, prod anything that looks like it could be opened or closed or shoved around, and you'll find your next step through quite quickly. But yeah, I absolutely love this game. Total recommendation from me. Some might sneer at the fact that it's not going to tax your brain. However, I found that extremely refreshing because I was never more than a few seconds away of feeling positive and good about myself for solving something. So yeah, hands down recommendation for anyone that loves a puzzle. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.